Chronomaly, an archetype I haven't had to think about for over a year. I'm actually honestly surprised there was more support available for this archetype that we didn't actually have in the game yet, and as it turns out, this new support is actually really goddamn strong. Now, whether or not this brand new support is good enough to make this archetype top tier is definitely still to be seen. But if I was going to get hyped for any archetype from this brand new box, it would definitely be this one. So here's today's deck list. But apparently nearly 50% of people watching this aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you guys are new around here and think you might want to see some more content from me in the future, please remember to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel down below. Alright, let's jump into this deck list. So as Chronomaly is a fairly old archetype, let me give you a real brief rundown on all the different cards in here. Starting off with, you have your Maoi. This thing can just special summon itself to the field if you have a Chronomaly monster on the field. Then we have your Crystal Bones. You play one copy of this because it's easily searchable via the skill, and it's a fantastic going second option. Basically, you can special summon this thing to the field if your opponent controls a monster, and in doing so, it revives a card back from the graveyard, or special summons a card from your hand. Then we have your Crystal Skull. This thing you discard to the graveyard to search for a Chronomaly monster straight from your deck list. Very important, as we'll talk about in just a second, because your skill basically can only search for level 5s and level 3s, so it allows you to basically search for level 4 instead. Alright, next up we have your Chronomaly Acambaro figures, or however you pronounce this card. This thing in the graveyard can pay 1000 life points to special summon it, and when it's in your hand, if a Chronomaly monster is destroyed, you can discard it to the graveyard instead. So a good little hand trap to defend your field from dark holes and stuff like that. When it's in the graveyard, just a fantastic extender. Alright, next up we have Chronomaly Nebra Disc. This thing is your normal summon. Basically you normal summon it, you search for a Chronomaly card from your deck list, and when it's in the graveyard, you can special summon itself to the field if you control only Chronomaly monsters, minimum of one of them. Now keep in mind this card can only use one of the effects per turn, so you can't search and then revive as well in the same turn, so just keep that in mind. Alright, then we have your Chronomaly Technology. This thing you can banish a Chronomaly card from your graveyard to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, add one card to your hand, send the other to the graveyard. This is typically only in here because it's a searchable option. If you've already got your trap card in your hand and you don't know what else to search for, you can search for this card instead. Speaking of the trap card, we have Chronomaly whatever the hell this card's name is, Glyph. Alright, during the main phase, targeting seized cards you control or in your graveyard, special summon 2 Chronomaly monsters that are 1 level higher than that monster's rank from your hand, deck, or graveyard, negate their effects, then immediately afterwards exceed summon a Chronomaly monster using only those 2 monsters. So typically with this deck list, you can summon a rank 4 on turn 1, then you can activate this card's effect, target that rank 4 or target one of the rank 4s in the graveyard that you put there with your skill, summon out the Vimana straight from your extra deck. So that's typically your turn 1 game plan. Speaking of Vimana, this card has 2 effects. The first one is, once per turn as a quick effect, you target one face-up monster on the field, and when it sees monster or Chronomaly monster in your graveyard, that monster in the field gains half the attack of the monster in the graveyard. Then attach that monster from the graveyard to this card as material. Once per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect, as a quick effect, you detach 2 materials from this card to negate the activation. So basically, this thing every single turn can negate your opponent's monster effects, and it continuously recycles resources below it, so you can keep using this negate effect, and additionally boost the attack of one of your monsters on the field. An absolutely absurd boss monster. And keep in mind, by the way, that negate is only a soft once per turn, so if you have 2 of these on the field, that's just 2 negates, and that comes up a lot with this deck list, so you'll see it plenty of times during the gameplay anyway. Alright, and the final Chronomaly monster in the deck list is your number 36 Chronomaly Chateau, Huyuk, or however you pronounce this thing. This thing's effects aren't super relevant, but you do need to play one because unfortunately your Acambaro figures does lock you to specifically Chronomalys when you try to use the effect of it, so you kind of need a rank 4 to go into that isn't just, that is actually a Chronomaly monster. Alright, once per turn during either player's turn, detach a material from this card, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change its attack to 0 until the end of the turn. You can tribute one Chronomaly monster, then target one monster your opponent controls whose current attack is different from its original, destroy that target. Unfortunately, that second effect isn't a quick effect, but the first one is, so it doesn't really work that well as disruption, but it can at least reduce attack, so not the worst card around, I guess. And that's basically it for all the new Chronomaly cards. But we do have one final card to go through, and that is Barrage Blast. This thing is the absolute MVP of this deck. This card is disgusting. Basically, once per turn, you can detach any number of materials from machine exceeds monsters you control, then target that many cards on the field, destroy them. Keep in mind, Vimana is an exceeds monster that is a machine, and of course, so is this card. And your one card combo with this deck list is going to end on both of them on the field. One with potentially 3 materials, and the other with 2 below it. So, instantly has 5 materials to use with your Barrage Blast to destroy up to 5 cards on the field. Absolutely insane. You'll see some huge board nukes from this during the gameplay portion, and yeah, you're going to want to play this card in this deck list. And the final thing to talk about with this deck list is of course the brand new skill, Hope-Filled Chronomaly. Alright, this thing has 2 effects. The first one is it can send one level 4 or non-level 4 Chronomaly monster from your hand to the graveyard, to then add one non-level 4 Chronomaly monster from your deck to your hand, and add 4 number monsters from outside your deck to your extra deck. So already this skill can search for any of the monsters in your deck list, other than of course your Nebra disc. But because we're playing Skull, you can just search for your Skull, send the Skull to the graveyard, and then search for the Nebra disc that way. So essentially it can search for your entire deck. Alright, that second part of the skill where it just puts a bunch of cards in your extra deck is for the final part of the skill. Send one rank 3 or 6 number monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, and the level of each monster on your field becomes the same as the rank of that monster. So, skill already puts a bunch of them in the extra deck for you, and you can just send any of them to the graveyard to make it real easy to go into rank 4s, or go into Vimana, even if you're just special summoning level 5s, or special summoning, or normal summoning level 3s. Doesn't matter what level they are, you can adjust them to whatever level you need to go into whatever ranks you need. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the deck list portion. Let's check out some gameplay showcasing what this deck can do. So let's just jump into it. So today I've got about 6-ish replays to share with you guys, all of which are gathered from inside of King of Games. And with this deck list in King of Games, I was shitting on absolutely everybody. To be fair, it is like late month-ish King of Games, so it's not exactly like I'm facing the best opponents or the most optimal deck list around, so it's hard to judge just how good this deck list is. But I'm pretty optimistic for it, as it just felt really good to me, so hopefully it can sneak its way into the top of tiers. That's sort of what I'm hoping for, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Alright, so starting off with our skill, dumping our figures to the graveyard to search for our level 3. Then we can revive that by paying 1,000. Then we can use the effect of our skull to search for a copy of Nebra disc. Nebra disc normal summon, getting a search, grabbing our trap card. Using our skill to turn our field into level 4. Unfortunately, we are locked into a Chronomaly, so we can't make an Abyss Dweller or something, because using the effect of this card locks you into Chronomalies for the whole turn. Alright, using our spell card to look at the top 2, grab a card, and then setting 3 and passing. Alright, so as soon as we're able to, we can use the effect of our Chronomaly Esperanza Glyph to then spell summon 2 level 5s to the field, then turn into a copy of our Chronomaly Vimana. Our opponent tries to go to end phase, and that is not going to work versus this deck, as Barrage Blast is a disgusting card. So from a 1-card combo, we can set up 5 pops. If our opponent had 2 other monsters on the field face down or something, we could destroy the entire field. As Barrage Blast just nukes based on materials you've got by detaching them, and this card can attach another material to itself. So 2 materials, 3 materials, I could nuke the entire field here. He knows it, so he just concedes. Alright, absolutely disgusting card. Alright, moving on to the next one. The fact that it's continuous in combination with Vimana, which keeps attaching materials every single turn, means it's just like it's just an absurd combo when combined together, because you can just keep using it every single turn. Alright. Moving on to our next matchup. I don't think this guy was playing Tachyon, if I remember correctly. Alright, once again going first, and we're going to see a similar combo to before. I think we actually go for a Dweller this time. So I'm not going to use the effect of this card this turn, because that way we can avoid the locks. We can summon out a Dweller. So special summoning. Making a copy of Abyss Dweller and passing. Alright, Abyss Dweller detaching. Unfortunately, it was a live twin matchup, so I don't really care too much about the graveyard. But we're now going to summon out our 2 cards to the field. Making our Vimana. Alright, going to book him in that one, keeping this dude face up for some free damage. Nebra is searching for a copy of Chronomaly Technology. Special summoning, these 2 cards now become your second Vimana. Now we can look at the top, see if we can grab anything interesting from it. Our opponent uses Ice Dragon's Prison, and this is a really funny thing about this deck list. It doesn't care about Ice Dragon's Prison whatsoever. Once you have a mana on the field, if they try to use Ice Dragon's Prison, we can suck up the card they try to remove with it. So, sucking up that graveyard card, just negating this entirely. And then swinging in, boosting the shit out of this card's attack, because again, these cards are not hard once per turn, so you can use this one's attack boost and this one's attack boost, making this guy gigantic. Not quite enough to kill him though by a tiny amount of life points, but he's dead anyway. Alright, up next. Yeah, this deck felt, I don't know, it felt really good to me. I'm hoping it'll be top tier. There's no way I would highly doubt it'll reach anywhere higher than tier 3 if it is a top tier deck, but it could definitely top a tournament. I'm pretty sure it could, so we'll have to wait and see. But it felt really good to me. As you can probably see from this gameplay, it's doing some pretty dumb stuff, so skill is definitely overperforming more than I thought it would. So there's that. Alright, opponent's playing Unchained. And I think was the Unchained Live Twin, or was he just playing Unchained? I can't remember. I think there was an Unchained Live Twin in here somewhere. Alright. So I misplay here slightly. I searched for a copy of this. I should not have searched for Maui. I should just search for the other level 5, because the other level 5 in hand is a hand trap that can stop destruction effects. So I could have completely made it so that this trap card just was useless. So definitely should have searched for the other level 5. It was a complete stupid mistake, but I realized it after I searched for it. I'm like, why did I grab this thing? But anyway. Especially considering I had no other play with it, so. Bones, grabbing this card back from the graveyard. Turning these two into my Vimana. Opponent tries to use the effect, we're going to negate it. But it turns out my opponent was more stupid than I am, so he uses his Unchained card to pop my back row. Apparently he just wanted to clear my back row rather than clearing my Vimana. Yeah, that's not a good idea. I don't think he realized this card is, it can boost the shit out of itself. So swinging in, making it 3,500, and just killing my opponent. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. To be fair, we played even worse. Maybe he thought I had this card in hand already or something. Maybe that's why he decided to not try to kill my monster. Either way, I don't know what that was about. Was it using the Cosmic Cyclone to make it even easier for me? Yeah, he definitely didn't know how Chronomaly worked. Alright, up against Mikami. And we are going first this time again. Nebra searching for a trap card. Once again, dumping to the graveyard, grabbing our level 5. So if you're not going for the Abyss Dweller play, because I could have searched for the Chronomaly that special summons, make Abyss Dweller that way. But if you don't want to go for the Abyss Dweller play because you think your opponent isn't playing a graveyard deck, you can always search for your figures, so you have the protection in hand, so you can't be destroyed by dark holes or something. Alright. These two become my Chateau, or how do you pronounce this thing? Chateau. Once again, another live twin player. We're going to summon out my rank 5 once again. Make my Vimana. Barrage Blast going to be popping too. I think, honestly, I probably should have saved the Barrage Blast, especially against a deck that's probably playing quite a bit of back row, because this can hit back row, whereas Book of Moon and this card cannot, so I probably should use these cards' effects first. Right, he's going to steal my Vimana. In response, I'm going to boost this card's attack before he does. And he summons the Unchained effect. I'm going to Book of Moon it. He pops the Vimana and then passes back. Alright, DD Crow being used. But we've got Nebra instead. Now, be careful when using Nebra because Nebra when you summon it back from the graveyard, locks you from using other card effects that are not Chronomalies. That includes your back row. Like Barrage Blast, I couldn't use anymore because I used this Nebra effect. Alright. Normal summon. Unfortunately, this card's only can use one of the effects per turn, so I couldn't search for anything as well. Swinging in, minus 3,500, and passing the turn. Negating that too, so he gets to add it back to hand, or whatever he was about to do with that. Right, Vimana attaching, and yeah, he knows. Alright, hope he actually saves some more going second replays. I can't just show me absolute shitting on people by going first every duel. I think this was a going first replay again. Oh no. Hope the last one wasn't going first. Otherwise I definitely should have saved some more going second replays for some more variety. Because this deck can definitely go second, that's for sure. It's just, I think it's definitely better going first, but it can definitely go second. Even just searching for the level 3 alone that just special summons himself with the skill makes it a lot easier. Alright, making my Chateau. Oh, Chateau. Oh, this is a disgusting Barrage Blast this duel. So opponent's going to set up some stuff. Galaxy Soldier, we're going to summon this in response. Alright, I wasn't quite sure where I want to use my Disruption against this guy. So I know he's going to make a rank 5 here, potentially. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to destroy this stuff or not, or let him keep going, because I didn't really care too much about the rank 5 he summons, because I have a negate for it. I just want to save my Barrage Blast for a huge board and Huyuk later on. So he summons Vimana, I'm like, okay, I don't really care too much. Summons one to the field, then summons another. Apparently just didn't have a Galaxy Eyes in Graveyard to use, so he just summoned this without effect. And we just nuked the entire field. All 3 cards gone. Vimana reattaching, swipe 2 materials for a negate as well. Barrage Blast popping once again. In response to the Compulse, going to boost this card's attack. Special summoning, another Vimana. Set the Book of Moon, and yeah, our opponent is dead as hell. Living on just 100 life points. Alright, final replay, and hopefully past me was smart and recorded a going second replay, and didn't record another going first by a mistake. Although I think this was a good replay, regardless. Okay, you got another going second replay, alright. There's a 5-game win streak with this one. We had a couple of pretty decent win streaks with this. I think the highest I got was 6 or 7, I think. Now I was doing some more early testing with some of the other deck lists, I think. Some other variations. Alright, summoning out the Shiranui, Spectral Sword. This guy's playing a 30-card deck, yet still opens the Squire. I don't think he even used the skill to search for it. He added a copy of Samurai to hand. Just, of course, 30-card deck list, of course, opens the best starter. He's just too good. Alright, this guy comboed for quite a while. Combo for quite a while and had no back row though. So setting up Supremacy, and yeah, this guy was a bit interesting to say the least. He just really held onto this card's effect for ages. I don't know why he held onto this stuff for so long. So I know he has this card's effect, I know he has the Mayakashi Engrave as well. So one Vimana isn't going to be enough. We're going to special summon the Crystal Bones, summon out, making the first Vimana. Normal summon, grabbing a search, grabbing a copy of our Maui. Crystal Skull searching for a second Maui. Special, both these turn to a Vimana. For some reason, he still hasn't used this card's effect yet. Maybe he doesn't know this isn't a hard once per turn. He's never read it. But now he's in a real big spot of bother. He used one effect, I negate it. Use the other, still negate it. And then we can boost the shit out of both of these cards' attack, while simultaneously replacing materials below this for 2 more negates during our opponent's turn. So once again, I'm going to be attaching some more stuff to it. Opponent's going to put this card on the field, I'm going to compulse it. Tries to use the Spectral Sword Engrave, we're going to negate that. And we still have another negate, just in case he had something else, but he just conceded. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them. If you didn't, leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Still plenty of new box content coming out over the upcoming days, so if you want to see some more stuff like that, remember to subscribe for that. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.